Hey, what is going on, guys? In today's video, I think we need to have a conversation about how many game modes should be in Project Era. And I'm doing this in response to that the Era developers have dropped One Shot out of the game, and I have been reading your comments, and I experienced it myself. The lobbies this season, after winter break, have just not been that good, particularly for the NA server on duos and squads. 30 is the maximum you achieve, even at ideal times. 20 and 15, that's very common. At the end of Season 6, before winter break, I was pulling at least 30 minimum at a good time, right? And 50 plus, 60 plus, 80 plus were not impossible to find at that time. So I don't think this issue can be chalked up entirely to winter break ending. Was it a major factor? Absolutely. We can't ignore it. But at the same time, I don't think we can just explain this issue away and pretend this isn't a problem, because I think it really is. Having low player counts is not a good thing to be having. So the question is, how do we resolve it? Well, I think the fact of the matter is, one of the driving factors that Season 6 lobbies were so good was because we had no extra modes. You played solos, duos, or squads. That's it. There was no heist mode, there was no creative, there was no one shot, there was no solid gold, nothing. It was solo, duo, and squad only. And I think that was actually fundamentally a good idea, because you only have so many players in Project Era. So funneling them into as few modes as possible is naturally going to prop up the player base. But it's understandable, totally reasonable, to say that, well, the game can get boring playing solos, duos, and squads only. We should have creative. We should have one shot to experience other parts of the game, old Fortnite, that were also lost, not just the core modes. And that's also a reasonable argument to make, right? It's understandable that people want to have other modes. Now, what is the solution to this issue, right? I think recently when we had creative and one shot running at the same time, I think that was a big mistake. The servers just simply cannot support that many people right now. And I think what we have now, with one shot being scrapped, of only having creative, I think that's probably the right compromise. Look, in my ideal world, I would argue creative shouldn't even exist. But I totally understand that a lot of people find it fun. So I do think it's a reasonable compromise to say we're only going to have one extra mode at a time, right? So right now we have creative, but let's say we want to add in solid gold. Okay, well, maybe for a week we disable creative and add in solid gold. And when solid gold is over, you go back to creative. I don't think it's a good idea to be trying to have more than one extra mode at a time, because the truth is the player base cannot support that. Now, when we inevitably probably move to Season 8, maybe you could have two extra modes at the same time. That might be a reasonable thing to do. But right now, I just don't think Era is in a position to be putting too many modes in at the same time. So that's kind of the idea I wanted to give. If you disagree, feel free to do so in the comments below. I'm happy to have a discussion about this, but I just kind of wanted to get this out there to have a conversation about it. I want to see, do you guys agree or disagree with the one shot being scrapped? And it's just an important conversation to have, because I want to see good player counts in the game, but right now they just aren't there. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you in the next one.